Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the town hall meeting of Utah Madison IE department. Before I start the presentation, I just want to mention that this town hall meeting is recorded, and we will post this video recording on our department website to share with a broader group of alumni. Yeah, I'm Shiyu Zhou, the department chair of IE department. I will start the presentation, and at the end, we will have a question and answer session, just in case you have any questions regarding the status of our department. Let me start. So the main purpose of this town hall meeting is to provide our alumni some updates about campus, our college, and particularly of our department. And during the town hall meeting, we will also have a research spotlights section. Professor Rajana Mehta, who's working in human factor and ergonomics area, and Professor Mike Bieler will give us a brief introduction of their research program. And I will also have a brief discussion on alumni engagement, like how our alumni can engage with our department and with our student. So here I will give a quick update about the campus, the college, and our department. So here is a very brief update about the campus. Our student enrollment grew significantly last year, like academic year 2024 to 2025. This academic year ends at May this year. And our total student enrollment grew about 50,000. And we have conferred about 10,000 degrees, include both undergraduate and graduate degree. And our total alumni reached close to 500,000, this is 490,000. The ranking among all the public schools, our university as a whole ranked 13th. And if we count all the universities in the nation, we rank 39. And our research expenditure constantly rank top 10. Like this year, last academic year, we rank number 6. So the university is in a very healthy status. There are quite some updates from the college. So I will give an update on the student enrollment, the leadership update. We will have a new dean starting actually next week. And we will also have a new engineering building. I will provide you some details. So last year, our total student enrollment in the college break 6,000 mark. So actually it's 6,518 student. And the College of Engineering conferred about 1,100 degree, include 91 PhD, 215 master, and close to 800 bachelor degree. Our ranking actually is higher than the university ranking. Our undergraduate program ranking of the college is in top 10 among public schools, is rank number 6. And the graduate program rank number 13 among public schools. And here is a composition, a pie chart of the student enrollment. Roughly, on average, in the college, the ratio between undergrad student and graduate student is 3:1. Here is the detailed enrollment information. This undergraduate enrollment and this graduate enrollment for those 8 departments in the college. You can see this our ISYE total enrollment actually is on the lower side compared with other department. And I don't think we can ever compete with ME and EE because traditionally these 2 departments are quite large. And right now the BME is very trendy. so very popular among students. So they have very high enrollment, just close to 700. But I think we can compete with civil and chemical engineering. So our hope is in a few years, our enrollment can be on par with civil and chemical biological engineering. So our immediate goal is to increase our enrollment to 400, and our ultimate goal is to reach to 500 for undergraduate student. The graduate program is another picture. Actually, we're fairly large in the college. So this we're bigger than civil and chemical, also bigger than material science and nuclear engineering. So we're relatively large this in this graduate program because we have a fairly large master program and PhD program. This is the number of degree conferred in the academic year. And actually, if you look at the undergraduate degree conferred, we gave 79. You will see kind of an interesting pattern. If you look at the total number of degree conferred, were bigger than civil and chemical engineering, but our student enrollment was smaller. They reached 400 and 500. So the reason being that we have a very small freshman class. So typically for freshman class, we have a very small number of students, but our sophomore, junior, and the senior class is comparable with other departments. So we are working on it to try to improve. In fact, in fall 2025, we expect to receive a significant increase in the freshman class. And our graduate program number of degree conferred, it's very good compared with other departments. Here is our new dean. Yeah, he's from Georgia Tech. Right now, he's department chair for mechanical engineering department at Georgia Tech. And he's an alum of Utah Madison. He got a PhD from mechanical engineering in 2027. And he's very energetic and enthusiastic about our college. And we look forward to working with him. In fact, his official starting date is next Monday, it's June 16th. So I will have a lunch meeting with him on his first day. So another two important updates from the college. One is the growth of our faculty. As you know, Utah Madison have a very ambitious faculty recruiting initiative called RISE initiative in academic year 24 to 25. So we plan to increase our number of faculty by 150 across the campus. And the College of Engineering play a very important role in this RISE initiative. Actually, we have 50 slots among these 150 slots, account almost 1/3 of all the slots allocated to the RISE initiative. And this year, we conduct a very aggressive faculty recruiting, and we got a lot of new faculty will join the college in fall 2025. So this is an update for the faculty body. Another major update is the new engineering building. As you know, during the spring semester, the state officially approved the building project. And we had the official groundbreaking ceremony on April 17th this year. And so the building is called the Philip A. Levy Engineering Building. It's a very nice building. This is an illustration of this building. It's a 7-story building, very large building actually. The total square footage of this building is close to 400,000 square feet. And this is a conceptual arts for the interior of the building. So the building will mainly consist of classrooms, collaborative learning space, and the collaborative lab space between university and the industry and lab spaces. So the current plan is that there will be no single department will be allocated to this building, but some lab from different department will be moved into this building. And of course, majority of the building will be used for classrooms and collaborative learning, those efforts, collaborative learning spaces. Yeah, this is the update of this building. Now let's move to the department update. So I will give updates on faculty, and actually our student, faculty, and alumni receive a long list of awards. I will present this list of awards, and I also give some up-to-date data like enrollment data and the research expenditure data, etc. And at the end, I will also briefly mention about the challenges right now the department is facing. I guess you will know it, even I don't mention it. But and our department initiative, how we will address those challenges. So this slide shows the current active faculty in our department. Those are not affiliated faculty. We have a larger group of affiliated faculty. Those are the full-time faculty in our department. We have 21 tenure track faculty in the department and 5 teaching faculty. So total we have 26 faculty members in the department. And those faculty members are organized into 4 different research areas, like advanced manufacturing and industrial AI, health system engineering, human factor and ergonomics, and the classical operation research and optimization area. So our faculty expertise are generally be allocated to those 4 different fields. And many of our faculty award the famous researchers in their corresponding field. We will have 2 new faculty members will join us in 2025. Mike Bieler already joined us in January 2025. He started in spring. And we will have Jackie Cha, who's working on ergonomics and human factor, will join us in fall 2025. So we will have this 2 new faculty members. And quite a few faculty got promoted in academic year 2024 to 2025. So Tony and Gabriel got promoted to associate professor with tenure. And Kaibo and Rajana are already full professors, but they got a professorship in the college in academic year 2024 and 2025. And another important promotion is Amanda Smith. I think a lot of you know her. Yeah. She's leading our undergraduate program. Yeah, Amanda actually in this town hall. Yeah, she's promoted from assistant teaching professor to associate teaching professor. So this is a very important promotion. And so this is a list of our faculty awards and alumni awards. And many of those awards are these national awards in industrial engineering field. So you can see a lot of our faculty received these awards from ISYE. ISYE is a professional community, research community for industrial engineers. And particularly I want to mention Rob Radovan is elected as a fellow in this community. So right now in the department, we have a few fellows in this community. And our alumni also receive very competitive awards. And I want to particularly mention Dr. Yunwer Yin. Right now, she's a professor at Purdue University. Yeah, she was elected to the National Academy of Engineering. So This is the highest honor an engineer can receive in the nation. And Eric Anderson so received the College of Engineering Early Career Award for 2024. And Eduardo received the College of Engineering Distinguished Achievement Awards for 2024. Yeah. This is an even longer list for our student. So our student receive this, all the awards are quite significant. So for example, we have undergraduate student receive Hilda Awards for undergraduate research. So this is a very competitive awards at the campus level. And we also have a graduate student receive awards from this ISYE, this through a national competition, like a Gilbert Memorial Fellowship. And we also have a graduate student receive campus level teaching awards. So those are long list. These awards our students receive. So you can see our department really enjoy this excellent reputation among peers and in the industrial engineering field. And this is the ranking information. Is for this year, 2025, our undergraduate program ranked 8th among public school and the 11th if we count all the IE programs in the nation. And our graduate program ranked 5th among all the public universities and the 7th if we count all the universities in the nation. So actually our graduate program ranked constantly in top 10 for many, many years already. So here is a detailed student composition for academic year 2024 to 2026. And roughly we have a total 500 enrolled students, include both undergraduate and graduate. And we expect significant increase in undergraduate enrollment in fall 2025. So essentially academic year 25 to 26, we expect significant improvement in undergraduate enrollment. And among those students, about 75 undergraduate students are pretty active in ISYE connection platform. So this ISYE connections is a mentor-mentee platform. So in this platform, we connect the current student with alumni. So the alumni can provide the guidance, advising to the current student on the career development, on job hunting, on even on classes. And we have about 150 students are very active in various student chapter for different student organizations. So like ISE student chapter is very active among undergrad student. And we have other student chapter like from Society of Manufacturing Engineer, Society of Informs, mainly on OR and the management discipline. So we have quite a few student organizations in the department, and we have a large number of students that are active in those student organizations. So here is post-graduation data on our student. So this year I heard the job market actually is not very good, but there's no influence on our IE graduates because IE is a very diverse, flexible discipline. So we have almost 100% placement of all of our graduates. And about 11% went to graduate school, and the majority, overwhelmingly majority, went to industry. And many students have multiple offers. This is a salary information. This is based on the surveys. So this median starting salary for bachelor is about 76K, and the median starting salary for master is 80 4K. For a PhD student, it's a small sample size, so this we didn't do the survey. But a lot of PhD students went to this big tech company like Amazon, Google. You can imagine their salary is really kind of broke the record, I don't even want to mention that because often they're paid higher than their advisors. And yeah. In this academic year, 24 to 25, we also gave out a record number of scholarships and amount of scholarships. So for last academic year, 23 to 24, we gave about 200K scholarship. But this year, we gave almost 289K scholarship. And the number of people receive scholarship also significantly increased. We really appreciate the support from alumni and donors who made those scholarships possible. And you can see all students are really happy when they receive those scholarships. We will continue this offering. Yeah, so. And here are some highlights of student activity. I want to particularly mention this North Central Regional Conference run by ISYE student chapter. And this is student chapter is mainly involve undergrad student. I'm really impressed by the skill and the capability of the student chapter. And this event is completely managed by the student chapter. And more than 130 students from the IE programs in this region attended this conference. It's a very smooth events and very well-attended events. People speak highly about this conference. They learned a lot from this conference. And in this academic year, our department also created many new courses to provide students the cutting-edge skill and capabilities. So those courses include this advanced optimization courses and a lot of AI-related courses, include AI and human, like human and AI and system, and AI algorithm type of courses. So our department will work on the an initiative that's how to provide a coherent training to the student on AI. So we'll look at the specific contents of those courses and create a track, like a focus track in the undergraduate program to improve student literacy in AI. And so to improve student this learning experience, we also provide a lot of trainings to the TA and to the instructor. We encourage our instructor to attend the campus level training, teaching training programs. And actually our TA received the campus level teaching awards. Here is some data on the research program. Our department is well funded on the research grants. Like our research expenditure exceeded 10 million for last year. And our faculty's scholarly productivity index is ranked #1 among our peers. Those index is a composite index, depends on the research paper published, the citation received, the research award received, number of peer student advice, etc. is a composite index. So we rank #1. And the research dollar per faculty member rank pretty high. It's a #2 among our peers. So our department is relatively small. So it's but every faculty member are very productive. So to reach those type of ranking on research and the research expenditure is really impressive. Here are some highlights for the research. So this Rajana and Mike will highlight their research a little bit later. But here are some other quick highlights. Like Professor Qin still push forward his research program on in-space additive manufacturing. So he has a very close connection with NASA and try to develop this additive manufacturing technique under zero gravity condition. So this is actually pretty challenging for this zero gravity environment. And Alberto is a world famous researcher in integer programming, integer optimization. So he's actually received some significant awards from INFOS. And Professor Kaibo Liu expanded his research program into healthcare area and recently published a paper in Nature Methods. So this is a very famous, kind of like a flagship journal in biomedical research. So, okay, here is a quick summary of the challenges of the department is facing. So, of course, the priorities of federal government support for research changed significantly starting this year. So we are facing potential significant research funding cut. And not only on the direct research funding, but the overhead rate for the research funding. So we may have the base funding uncertainty. And we also face uncertainties regarding the international student visa issue. And we have a decent amount of student in our international student in our graduate program. And at this moment, none of our grad student is impacted by the recent visa issue. But we don't know if the current episode will impact on the visa for the future incoming student. So right now, it's really uncertain how many students will enroll in our graduate program in the upcoming fall semester. So this is a significant uncertainty. And another challenge is internally. So this year, we will start to implement overhaul of the budget model for each units. So we will transform from a legacy-based budget to an activity-based budget. So essentially, we have a perfect storm. So we don't know our next year budget, how much our next year budget is yet at this moment. So those are the key challenges. So otherwise, our department are pretty healthy. So the only challenge is those uncertainty. Is we really don't know. So how much financial support we will receive for our next year. So what are the initiatives in the department right now? What are we doing to address those challenges? So we made a lot of contingency plan to just do a lot of what if analysis. So what we will do if this scenario will be realized, will be materialized. So we did the base budget reduction planning exercise. We also made up a contingency plan for student support if the federal research funding indeed will be significantly cut. Right now, we're still waiting for the Senate to make the final decision on next year's federal budget. And when we make those contingency plan, we made priorities. So the student is always our number one priority, student learning experience, student support. So we still try to increase our undergraduate enrollment and improve our competitiveness in grad student recruiting. And we want to protect and expand our research enterprise. So the last point means even under the federal funding cut scenario, we will provide this flexible funding to support our PhD student during this period of time. So we don't want to leave them unsupported. So those are the priorities when we make up those plan. So yeah, right now we're still in this uncertain stage. So we don't know yet, but during the summer, particularly once the Congress finalizes the federal budget for next year, so we will have a much clearer idea about the situation for next year. Okay, now I want to give the stage to Mike. Yeah, he's almost like a brand new faculty in the department. He will give a brief introduction of his research program. So Mike, can you share? I will stop sharing, and can you share yours?
Okay, awesome. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm excited to share some of the research I'm doing around manufacturing and to give a little bit of a background, like how I see manufacturing and where it could go. We can think about, what is really the current state of manufacturing. Maybe one of the most complex machines we've made is the space shuttle, and that has 2.5 million parts and takes around 5 years to assemble. But maybe there's a future that could look different, and maybe that's also centered around additive. So one part of that is 3D printing. So we can think about part consolidation. So this is an example from SpaceX, right? So you can see different generations of this, reduce the number of parts by 50% and increase the thrust by almost twice, right? So there's a lot of opportunities there. And on the other side, what I'll share a little bit more today is 4D printing. And so some of you might not have heard about that, but really what that enables us to do is dynamic capabilities, so objects that change over time according to some stimuli activation, right? So programmable materials, more dynamic structures. And so on a high level, how does this work? And so that's kind of, we can think about 2 stages. So we have a pre-programming stage, and that works through smart material design. So in a simple example, we can think, okay, there's a material A and a material B, and then we have some stimuli. That might be magnetic, that might be heat, that might be UV light. And that enables us to get dynamic structures, so structures that change over time. According to that, and that is really enabled by this different materials, and you can kind of see here, those are those possibilities. And so give you a little bit more idea what it is that we can do. We can think about self-assembly, right? So that's maybe very interesting for packaging, but also for delivering goods to different locations. We can think about soft robotics, right? So robotics that are compliant to parts, don't damage them, enable us to have more human-like capabilities. Or we can even think about more natural exoskeletons, right? So we don't need to rely on motors or actuators, but dynamically change the materials, right? So lots of opportunities for kind of transformative applications, and you can think from a systems perspective, how that might change everything that we're doing currently, right? From supply chain to, how do we balance our production lines and everything along those lines. So really many challenges. And to give an idea of what kind of my lab is working on, I'll highlight a few challenges here. So we're working on soft robotics for deep sea exploration. So some soft corals, when they're grabbed too hard, they change their DNA. But the whole point of studying them and getting them for the bottom of the ocean is you want to study their DNA. So we're building new types of grippers with new materials, new control capabilities to enable those explorations. We're also working on 4D textiles. So one example here are self-tightening tourniquets. So this is a traditional tourniquet, to stop blood loss. And what we're envisioning and working on is kind of smart materials embedded into the fabric of your pants that will automatically tighten and bring it to the right stop the blood flow, right? So one challenge is in conventional is you usually tighten it so tight that you have a lot of tissue damage and you cannot you need to amputate a leg, right? So those are some things. I think great collaborative environment here in Madison that I've experienced so far. So we're collaborating with the CALS department on 3D printed ammonia sensors for dairy cow ventilation. So commercial sensors roughly cost around $1,000 right now. And the sensors we can print are in the order of $4. So that kind of enables real-time control when the ammonia is too high. Can we minimize health impact and for both cows, but also the workers. We're working on 4D bioprinting, so similar ideas, but inside of the cells, we embed magnetic particles, and what that can enable is if you're trying to bring a medical implant into your body, we can do that in a very minimally invasive way by applying a magnet on the outside and just guiding it through the body, right? So those are some capabilities. We're working on 4D morphing airfoils, right? So you can see this material is changing dynamically, so we can have some new flight dynamics by kind of visualized by those blue wings. So some of those things, very early stages, but we're kind of starting to build some of those. Another area that we're working on is 4D printed environmental control devices. So if it's dry outside, you want to kind of let in the air and exchange it. But if it's too humid outside, those channels close and you don't get the humidity inside of your house, right? And so what does that enable? You don't need HVAC system that have very, greenhouse hazardous materials, but you can just enable things through kind of smart material design. And so a lot of this is really enabled at this stage through a lot of undergrad researchers in my lab. So I wanted to highlight their excellent work that they're doing, and also for the students that are interested in engaging, feel free to reach out via email, check out my website, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Yeah, we will share this PowerPoint slides with alumni, so you can see Mike's contact information on it. So next highlight will be given by Rajana. So Rajana, can you share your screen? Oh, you.
Sure, I can.
I can share mine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Awesome.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, awesome. So thank you so much, Shiyu, for giving me the opportunity to present some of the human factors ergonomics research, particularly in my lab. So my lab is the neuroergonomics lab. We focus on understanding, assessing, and augmenting human technology partnership. And we do that in high-risk critical environments. So the high-risk critical environments are emergency response. So any public safety missions that you look at, law enforcement, EMTs, or fire. We have, I moved from Texas 2 years ago, and for the longest period of time, I was working with offshore companies and looking at health and safety in offshore work. So those are some of the other high-risk environments that are very difficult to access in general, but specifically for research, they are very, very difficult, but then they hold significant health and safety challenges that we typically don't see in sort of more structured work environments. We look at these human technology partnerships from a mind, motor, machine perspective. So if you think about a human interacts with a system. In some of these systems, the human utilizes a lot of their cognitive capabilities. In some of these systems, the human utilizes a lot of their physical motor capabilities. However, in all of these interactions, the mind and motor components need to work in sync. And that's something that we study using neuroergonomics, which is the study of brain and behavior at work. So we do a lot of things in the lab. We have been funded by a lot of different federal agencies. And I appreciate Shiyu talking about the challenges with federal funding. So this is where any feedback from you all regarding how we can increase alumni engagement through industry partnerships with research would be really helpful. So a lot of work that we do in our lab is on fatigue. Humans get fatigued. We work over hours, over time, we get fatigued, we get stressed. And in these cases, our performance are not what they are when we are relaxed or we are working in comfortable positions. We make bad decisions. Human error is significant. And so one of the things that we study is, what are the sort of preconditions to some of these behaviors that we see in health and safety outcomes? So, at first I started looking at the mechanisms of fatigue. So we have fatigued people in the lab a lot. We get them in the lab, we have them, stay up all night, and then we make them do some tasks to understand, how they behave, how they make decisions. And we use that information to build predictive fatigue management systems that I'll be very quickly showing you. I have also started working on human autonomy teaming, so really looking at human-robot interactions, human autonomy systems interactions, and then looking at how do we utilize AI and data analytics for adaptive training for our workforce. Our workforce is now required to interact with complex systems and are required to get on board really quick, whether it be a simple machine that they're interacting with or a complex enterprise system. So how do we create these adaptive training using AI and using augmented reality, virtual reality to help them get there sooner? So what I wanted to talk first about was these intelligent fatigue management systems that we have been working on using wearables and analytics. So a lot of work that I've done in the space has been with fire and EMS, which is public safety, as well as with offshore work. It has a lot of things in common in that they are, they have constraints, a lot of constraints around how we can do research, but a lot of constraints around what solutions we provide them. So one of the things that we worked with them is how do we remote monitor their fatigue levels using smart applications that we can create on our cell phones or wearables. We have collected data from offshore companies, from 70 workers for 28 straight days. This is the largest fatigue data set that is available out there from the Gulf of America. And we have utilized that in building forecasting models of fatigue. So, when I ask if you're fatigued and you say, yes, you're fatigued, it's too late. As a supervisor, it's too late for me to do anything about it. What I need to know is what happens to you tomorrow. Are you in good shape tomorrow to make decisions so that I, as a supervisor, can plan for it today using scheduling and other IE tools? So that's what we have done using, machine learning forecasting techniques. Finally, what we want to do is build this end-to-end system. We are actually going to prototype this MVP in an offshore company early January next year, where we have built this end-to-end systems where people can enter their fatigue levels. We have fatigue assessments. There is a machine learning model that's working that is proactively identifying who might get fatigued tomorrow or day after, and then a visual dashboard for frontline supervisors to make decisions about how to help these individuals manage their fatigue, how to schedule their shifts and whatnot. So this has been several years of work that we have been doing with fatigue management. We have also, we are wanting to take this into emergency response. So when I was in Texas, I was in a state that had one of the largest natural and man-made disaster response capability. We were part of the Hurricane Harvey disaster, where we looked at fatigued and first responders who were flying drones to know which routes were getting flooded. We also went to Hawaii, not for fun, unfortunately, but when the volcano erupted, to know where the lava was flowing. So we were looking at fatigue in these first responders as they were flying these drones. And finally, in Hurricane Michael in 2018. So across all of these disasters, we were looking at human-robot interaction, but we were trying to understand how best we can get fatigue levels and how best we can manage fatigue of our first responders. So I just want to very quickly talk about this how do we utilize AI and wearables like augmented reality, virtual reality, and enabling training for workforce. This is an example of how we look at training EMTs in mass casualty incidents. So they are triaging patients. So typically what an EMT training would look like is we would call out a call for participation, volunteers from the community, and say, hey, do you guys want to help your EMTs to get trained? And community members, like your local neighborhood, would come in and we would paint their faces across different injury type, and they would act like they are injured. But they really cannot replicate what an injured person's injuries look like, nor can they replicate what symptoms they should talk about. And so what we did is we created these AI-enabled virtual characters who are going to replicate those injuries. So now a first responder is learning how to do a triage using this AI non-playable character, if you may. We have, so you can see how she is trying to triage this individual who represents true injuries that one of our collaborators who trains 200,000 first responders every year in Texas, they had a huge database of mass casualty events injuries, and we replicated that in these virtual characters. I want to show another recent one that I did when I moved to Madison. We are working closely with the UW Police Department in creating a similar AI-enabled training for police officers who can learn how to do de-escalation, who can learn de-escalation strategies using virtual reality. The police department here at UWPD have a $100,000 VR system. They got it 3 years ago. They barely used it 15 times. There are a lot of challenges in that there has to be someone behind the computer who acts like a person in crisis. And it takes a lot out of that individual. It's not immersive. So what we are working on is creating a virtual person in crisis who can, using large language models and some of our own sort of programming behind it, can simulate neurodivergence capabilities, interaction capabilities with these individuals. And so this is we are doing the analysis right now, but this is an example of what that looks like. This is a real-time interaction with an individual. And we have fed in, what kind of information, what kind of neurodivergence symptoms we see. This is, some of the work that we are doing in our lab. I am happy to answer any questions for you. Mike, my lab also works a lot with undergraduate students, and we won't be able to do this without them, our graduate students, and the rest of the department for giving us the resources, space, and funding to do so. So I'm happy to take any questions if you have any, or I'm happy to wait until after the town hall is finished to do so. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Rajana. Yeah, let me share my screen again. Yeah. Yeah, Rajana's contact information is also on the slides. So if you have a question or interest in her research, you can contact her directly. Yeah, before end of this town hall meeting, I want to have some discussion on alumni engagement. Yeah, first, I want to give a big shout out to our industry advisory board. So this slide shows this our IAB member, the current active IAB member. I noticed quite a few our IAB member and the former IAB members are in this town hall meeting. So those groups are very active in engaging with our department, providing advice on our curriculum, and provide direct advising to our students. So we really appreciate their involvement and their contributions to the mission of our department. And this slide lists the different type of engagement opportunities from our alumni. So most of those engagement opportunities involve in-person interaction between alumni and our current students. For example, we may invite our alumni to give a guest lecture in certain classes, particularly in senior design class, and or just give a seminar in the department. We have a welcome back badge speech. And as I mentioned before, we also have an ISYE connection platform to connect our current student with alumni to form a mentor and the mentee relationship to provide advice to the current student on professional development, career development, and job hunting. And here are the near-term upcoming events. Like in August 21st, we have our COE ice cream social. And we also have our college homecoming tailgate party. It's coming soon, early fall, I believe. And we also have a welcome back badge speak series in fall semester. And we have a live link in this PPT file. It's called the Alumni Engagement Form. If you're interested in engagement opportunities, you can click this link and fill in the form. We will get back to you. And if you're interested in make some direct financial support to the department for the scholarship or other costs, you can contact Tom. Yeah, Tom's information is also listed on the slides. Okay. And our department have a very significant presence at the social media. Thanks for Jen's efforts. So we have account on X, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So our LinkedIn right now have more than 3,000 followers. So we really want to grow this our social media account. And if you have a social media account, please follow us, follow our department account. So we will post from time to time update from our department on our social media account. Yeah, the last part is a question and answer section. And in the registration form, we ask people to type in some of their questions. I will quickly go through those questions. And after that, if I have additional question for me, for Mike, or for Rajana, you can type in the chat. We can have a discussion. So the first question is, how do you see your departments integrating more with data analytics and AI majors? So right now, AI is a major trend. And we do want to incorporate AI content and data analytics content in our curriculum to improve the literacy, to provide our student the needed skill and the literacy in AI. But our offering is distinct from the data analytics or AI majors. For example, for that in statistics and in computer science. Their focus is on the algorithm, on the this kind of like a theory of AI, but our emphasis will be the application of AI on industrial engineering problems. So I think our offering will be distinct from those data analytics and AI majors. That being said, we do plan to systematically to incorporate those contents, those knowledge into our curriculum. And how can one initiate alumni talks to the current student in ISYE? I already mentioned that in the engagement opportunities. We have ISYE connection platform. We also have this kind of welcome back badge speech series. So we can invite our alumni come back to talk with our student directly. And another one is how are you fighting back? So this is a short question. I assume is fighting back with the federal government. That's my assumption. So actually, at the campus level, UW Madison are involved in a lot of lawsuits with the federal government to block the reduction in the research funding, those unreasonable sudden change in their policy regarding research funding. And many of those lawsuits, at least, is successful at this moment, because the judge often gave a restriction order. So essentially just prohibit federal government implementing those changes in the policy. And at the department level, as I said, we made a lot of contingency plan and gave student support as a priority. And so right now, how we address those challenges from the federal government. And how do we ensure balance between international and domestic students? In our department, the undergraduate program is overwhelmingly domestic student. We only have very few international students. Our PhD program, the international versus domestic student is also balanced. So we don't have a detailed statistics, but I guess it's half domestic, half international. And our master program is majority is the international students. Yeah, this is one area we want to spend time to attract more domestic students into our program. The reason being that a lot of undergrad students, because of the popularity of IE discipline in industry, they're very easy to find a very satisfactory job in the industry. So they don't see the need to get a master's degree. So that's part of the reason. But we are thinking to develop some program to attract non-IE undergrad student to go into our master program. For example, some psychology, some this student in Latin science college, to pursue a master degree in IE. Yeah, that's our strategy. And we have a lot of additional question. Is will the new engineering building impact the IE department? Yes, so we need that new building because right now our lab space is very tight. And with the new engineering building, some lab will move into the new building. Some of our lab may move into the new building, or some of ME lab will move into the new building. And the ME building, the current building, will right now we're in, will be this have more space for us. So it's very important for our department. And the curriculum questions, how has AI been folded into curriculum? Right now we have quite a few classes on AI. And one priority of academic year 25-26 will make it a systematic offering in AI. We will discuss the contents of those courses and create a plan for students how to improve their skill. So this is, we already have quite a few courses on AI, but this year, upcoming year, we'll organize them, make them into a more systematic way. And how prominent is the human factor? Yeah, one strength of our department is that we have a group of internationally famous faculty members have expertise in human factor. So this is one of our strengths. It's a very important area in our department. And how does ISYE curriculum address business transformation? We do have courses address business transformation. For example, right now, Professor Raj Ramani offers a course on digital transformation of enterprise. And we also have some cross-listed courses with B School on business transformation. Yeah. Next question is, other schools, because of the current CHIPS Act, are developing semiconductor engineering degree that include IE. What's our plan, your plans? So at the current, the college does not have a plan to create a new degree in semiconductor engineering, but we do have a focus group focused on research opportunities in semiconductor. So I don't think the college will have a plan to have a new degree in semiconductor engineering. Is there any new development on the solar engineering design processes? Not at this moment in our department. And are there opportunities for study abroad available? Yes. Yeah. Last year, our department really focused on a WISP program. It's called a Visiting International Student Program. That program is kind of an exchange program. Essentially, our department will create some this mutual agreement with the international university, like in India, in China, in Europe, and we exchange student visit. So they send their student to us, and we can send our student to them, and the credits can be shared between those universities. So indeed, we have a lot of opportunities for international study abroad. Are scholarships available to? Yes, we have a lot of scholarships. I already mentioned. So for last academic year, we gave out almost $289,000 to our student. Yeah, how's the department doing? Yeah, like I said, so our overall status from research side, from teaching side, are excellent. Actually, ours a very healthy this situation. The only challenge is the uncertainty in the federal policy. So we don't know what exactly the federal policy on research funding will be. That may have a huge impact on our department because we are a flagship research university. So the research program is very important to us. So this may create a significant impact. So those are the questions from the registration form. Let me see if any questions from the chat.
Yeah, Shiyu, there were several in the chat, and some of them that would take a bit longer, we can add to the slides, add the answers in the slide deck afterwards if you'd like, but you want to tackle some of them, you may feel free to.
Okay. So the first one is what areas a student most interested in pursuing? What area have the greatest growth? What new courses has been developed? Yeah, in general, right now, students are very interested in AI type of data analytics, AI type of skill. And because a lot of industry really requires that. But in general, our placement, like job placement of ISYE student is excellent in the college because they're very diverse and flexible. We don't have any issue with that. And we indeed developed quite a few new courses in AI. I already mentioned during the presentation, like human and AI, AI and the system, and AI algorithm type of thing. Yeah. And what percentage of IC research funding come from the federal government? Is yeah, for this one is the research funding from federal government is mainly support our PhD student and the summer salary of our faculty and the purchase of equipment. So the faculty's salary is supported by the university, not supported by this federal government. So that's why when we make up a contingency plan, so if the federal government significantly cuts research funding, we need to have a plan to support our PhD student. Right now, we have about 60 students supported by our department. 60 PhD students supported by our department. If you count all the kind of expenses, include their salary and fringe benefit, so for each student, each year, we need to spend around 60K. So 60 multiplied by this 60, it's almost 3.6 million. Yeah, so that's the amount of a federal funding we need to support the. This does not count the faculty summer salary, etc. So roughly 4 to 5 million. Yeah. So any scope on introducing full-time co-ops for master students as companies don't allow part-time remote. So I'm not sure. This is a new policy in the federal government. So during this summer semester, so the student can have full-time co-op. But during a regular semester, they can only take a part-time co-op. That's not a decision from the company. Rather, it's a legal policy from the federal government. So I don't think we have a way to get around it. But you can still have part-time co-op. Is IC enrollment increasing, decreasing? Is stays the same over the last 5? Well, increasing. Actually, before pandemic or during the first 1 or 2 years of pandemic, our enrollment increased significantly. So we, from last 5 to 10 years, will grow from 200 some to 400 during the pandemic. But after pandemic, for some reason, we're reducing. It's right now is like last year, we have 320 undergraduate enrollment. And but we will see significant growth in the coming fall 2025. Yeah. This actually the whole department is growing significantly. As when I joined the department, we have about 15 faculty members, but right now we have 21 tenure track faculty and 5 teaching faculty. Total, we have 26 faculty. So you can see the significant growth. Okay. Yeah, that's all the question. Yeah, it's past 1. Unless you have additional question, yeah, we can stop here. Thank you again for joining the town hall. I think the alumni engagement is very important to our department. to help our student, to advise our student, and to make our program just grow bigger, stronger, and again, even better reputation.
This is great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you again. And we will share this presentation and the video on our website. Bye.